Hello everybody and welcome to Wonderfully Hopeless Colors. My name is Charity and today we're going to be doing part 2 in Magical Jungle for our hippo page. Alright, so we've got a start and we've got our colors, and as I make a mess getting the pencils out, we have our pencils and our cup. I'm actually going to put them back in there, and we have a beverage because I'm apparently coughing tonight and that's no fun. So I think we are going to continue up. And we have these 3 leaves right here. So, I think we're going to look at our greens. And I think this time we're going to go with let's try these 3. Alright, so let's start with our olive green. Alright. So the week is almost over, which is awesome. I have lesson plans for next week. That is awesome. However, I have to write 2 tests tomorrow if I don't want to have to bring work home. So that is less awesome. And I have a handful of kiddos doing test corrections tomorrow. So, and I'm using new curriculum, which means a new system, so I'm not 100% sure how test corrections are going to work tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but that's tomorrow's problem. Yeah, I'm just going to punt that for tomorrow. I'll probably try playing with it in the morning when I get to work because I need to make copies because I forgot to do that tonight before I left because I was helping kiddos. But that won't take me but a couple minutes. So I have copies to make, and then obviously I have my tests to make, but I'm trying to remember. I already made the copies for chemistry. So they need more practice using significant figures because yeah, this is the first time they've probably ever been exposed to significant figures, and I hate significant figures. The rules are always confusing for me, and they're finding them just as confusing. So it's a struggle. So they practiced today, and we're going to do more practice tomorrow. And to mix it up a little bit, I'm going to throw in some scientific notation, which is not the first time they've seen scientific notation, but undoubtedly they are not as familiar with it. And you don't really start using it until chemistry, so we'll practice some of that tomorrow. So, but that's all ready. And then I have 2 classes taking a test, and that's ready to go. So I just have to pop them into Google Classroom, and that won't take me but a couple minutes in the morning. So that will give me time to figure out these test correction things because I'm going to need it for multiple kiddos. I kind of wish some of these platforms made test corrections and things of that nature easier, but Google Forms does not make test corrections really something that's easy to do. And most of the platforms that publishing companies provide teachers also do not make test corrections an easy thing to do. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow. I'm going to have to play with it. I mean, the worst case scenario is I have to print out the tests, and I don't really want to do that because the textbook companies make them take a ton of paper when you print them out. So that's not really something I want to do. So we're gonna see how it goes, and then I'll go from there. But I'm not super thrilled about it, but I want the kids to be able to do test corrections. So, and then it'll be the weekend, and since I'm feeling better, my plan is to get caught up on house chores. That leaf sew did not turn out the way I wanted. Oh well. And then my husband and I have a Halloween project, and if he's feeling up to it after physical therapy, the students have asked me to go to the football game. So I don't mind going to the football games. However, and I think the weather's supposed to be pretty decent tomorrow, my husband is usually pretty tired after the football game, or after the physical therapy, so I really can't promise until I see sorry, how he's doing. And that's what I told the kiddos. I'm like, well, I'll try, but I don't know. So, and my students know that my husband has a disability, and they're usually really good, so that's a bonus at least. So they're usually pretty understanding, and so my goal is to go. If not next weekend, it's on a Saturday in the middle of the afternoon, and so weather permitting, we could go to that one too. So we will see how that goes. So, and the hubby texted me. I think he's going to pick up yet another D&D game, which means that I will have a little bit more time, although it's on Sunday, which honestly just means he'll be out of my hair while I'm doing house chores. That's probably about all it'll mean, because it's Sunday around lunchtime, so you know, I'll be getting the laundry done and all of that good jazz. So But that will be the big plan. But we'll see. We'll see what transpires on Sunday. I'm always happy if he's got a D&D game. It makes him happy. And that is always my overall goal. So but we will see. He may decide he wants to stay home Sunday and help me with the Halloween. We'll see. We always put our Halloween up pretty early. I have quite often got it up by Labor Day. However, this year that didn't happen because I wasn't feeling good that weekend. So, we have a local festival that is very close to my house on at the end of September. I think it's the last weekend in September. And I always try and have my Halloween up by then. So I want to get that worked on and have it done before then. So that means most of it is not too bad. It doesn't take me too long, but I don't want to do it when it's stupid hot outside, which is what it is today. And I don't want to put the gravestones tend to get messed up if I put them out too early. And my husband has a couple ideas he wants to do for new Halloween decorations outside, so he's got some honeydews for me. All right, not what I had originally planned, but not bad. And I like the contrast of the light and the dark. All right. So now we're going to take, what am I using? Prussian green, and we're going to do the vine. And it's kind of snaking out over here. It'd be great if I could get this whole side done before I have to stop. Let's see how that goes. All right, here's another piece of that vine. Comes around here. I'm not doing anything fancy. It's just a tiny little vine and tiny little leaves. I don't really want to overcomplicate things. So I can't believe we're already into a week into September. It's like, man, time flies fast. August is always like insane, super stressful. It's, you know, get ready for back to school, and then you're back to school and you're swamped and you're trying to get back into routine and you're trying to get kids back into routine. because those kiddos come back from summer and they have quite often forgotten everything they learned over the last year or 11 years in some cases. And so it's reestablishing all that stuff, and it's just exhausting. And usually it is not until Labor Day or later that I start bringing my head up and having time to breathe and function again. So, and this year, I'm actually doing pretty good. It is the week after Labor Day, and I am not feeling too horrible, which is always a nice change. All right, now I'm going to take Kelly Green. So the kiddos have been, you know, they're kiddos. I teach high school, so they're not really kids. I mean, they're young adults. Sometimes they act more like the little kids, but, you know, they're still kids. So, overall, I feel like this year is both more stressful and less stressful at the same time, which makes absolutely no sense, and I get that. But, like, I don't feel quite so, I'm not as far behind and not as stressed out about getting caught up as I would normally be this time of year. But I am also, like, any little thing just feels completely overwhelming this year. And that's mostly because I have a ton on my plate in and out of work. And so I know that plays into my capacity to handle additional things on my plate. So I know that's my problem, and it's just a workload and stress load, and such is life. You know, things just kind of, life happens, and there's lots of complications and additional stressors, and this year has just been particularly hard on the stressors, and yeah, not always very fun. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to come back in here with the darker color and darken that up just a smidge. All right, the last thing I have, I'm just going to treat like a lily pad. So which doesn't mean much. They're green. So let's just go for it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I'm going in with the lightest green, which is pale sage. And we're just going to put a base layer down. I'm trying not to do a lot of pressure. Not that you need a lot of pressure with a Prisma, but trying for just a little bit. So there's that. that. And just come in, and I'm going to do all of these the same, lines or no lines. We're just keeping it simple, because that's what I'm feeling like tonight. Keep it simple. Something so relaxing about this, which is, you know, why we do it. I am very ready for autumn. However, at 88, it doesn't really feel like autumn. It's supposed to cool down tomorrow. Yippee! However, the pressure front that's going to push the cold front through is likely going to cause me to have a nasty headache tomorrow. Or tonight, whenever it goes through. I haven't really checked the weather to see when the pressure front is going to be pushing through. I just know it's coming, and usually I end up with a headache if it's big enough front. Alright, we're going to take the darkest color and we're going to go around the edge. So I'm kind of hoping that I don't end up with a nasty headache, because it makes for a long day. But actually, I just realized I have 3 tests to write tomorrow. I'm not going to get them all written. I don't think. It would have to be an abnormally easy day to get 3 tests written. So I am probably going to have to either write them Monday or do it over the weekend. Alright. I'm going to come in with Kelly Green. And start adding to the lily pad. So, I don't know. I say I'm not going to get it done, and then usually I knock it out. But we'll see. We will see. We will see. I hope I get it done, because that leaves me with more crafting time, and I'd really like to do more cross stitch and more coloring and more knitting, because yeah. And I was playing in my craft surprise the other day, and I pulled out my light board for my diamond painting. I'm like, ooh, I haven't done that in a while either. And it's like, this is why I have so many hobbies. I don't need this many hobbies. And does that stop me? Nope. I still have too many hobbies. But, oh well, I love my hobbies. So, what are you gonna do? I'm for sure gonna work on cross stitch, and I'm for sure gonna color, and I'm for sure gonna knit, because I do those pretty much every day. Cross stitch depends on my stress level and how tired I am, because the project I'm working on requires brain power, and sometimes I don't have enough of that. So but I take socks or knitting everywhere. When I go to pick up my husband tonight, I will take knitting with me. I sometimes take coloring, but it is a little harder to sit in the car and knit and color, and mostly socks are pretty mindless at this point. So, all right, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's see if I can replicate that on the next leaf. Now, can I get them to all look that good? That might be a bit much, but I do need to sharpen that pencil. That leaf's a little bit smaller. I need a little bit better of a point. So yeah, socks is usually my travel project at this point. I remember traveling with coloring when I was in my 20s. I didn't come home without a coloring book and crayons. That was usually sometimes colored pencils, but usually it was just a coloring book and I think it was the 96 box of crayons. And I would color. And sometimes I would bring cross stitch. I've always had to have something to keep my hands busy. And I remember if I forgot, I would get bored and I would go to the nearest store, which in my hometown, which is where I live now, there are not a lot of options. It's Walmart, Dollar General, the drugstores. But pretty much all of those places always had crayons, and they always had coloring books. And I could almost always find a Care Bear or My Little Pony. They weren't strictly speaking from my era, because those were more 90s cartoons, late 80s, and was not really my jam. But there for a while, it was much harder to find stuff from the late 70s, early 80s. And still to this day, I don't think it's super easy to find that stuff. I do have a Strawberry Shortcake coloring book, and I regret greatly that I did not get the Coloring Heaven Strawberry Shortcake coloring book when it came out. My friend grabbed it and showed it to me, but she lives in Canada, and I couldn't find it when she showed it to me, and I looked. I was most disappointed, and I didn't even find like a digital download for it, because I love Strawberry Shortcake, the 80s Strawberry Shortcake, late 70s, early 80s Strawberry Shortcake, the original Strawberry Shortcake. Camera, being ornery. I'm probably going to have to stop this soon, but I'm hoping I can at least get these leaves done, get the lily pads done. So anyway, I am a Strawberry Shortcake, Holly Hobby, a little bit of Rainbow Bright. I did not really watch My Little Pony. I watched Gem, but I didn't really... I'm not going to go out and look for a Gem coloring book, but I really enjoyed Strawberry. I mean, that is the one thing I gravitate to from my childhood. So I'm always big into the Strawberry Shortcake stuff, but you don't see it as much. So anyway, I used to grab a Care Bears or a Lisa Frank or something from the... I was at least young back then. I remember when Lisa Frank was popular and stuff. So, you know, that type of thing is what I'll go grab when I'm, or when I was in my 20s and I wanted to color. And, I don't really remember. And I mean, this is before online shopping, really. And I was probably in my 40s before I ever found an adult coloring book. And I was like, hey, this is awesome. And, you know, then you find all the new supplies, and it's like, I'm loving this. Where has this been all my life? I can get books with pictures I enjoy, and pencils and alcohol markers. I am mostly a pencil person. I'll use some of the other mediums, but I've always been more pencil, crayon, that type of thing, the basics. I mean, I remember when I was a broke 20-something, and I went to, maybe Hobby Lobby? I don't even think it was Hobby. I don't even think Hobby Lobby was around back then. I got a poster. I don't remember where I got it. It could have been Walmart. But it was, you know, those giant posters you colored yourself. I had one of those, and I colored that. And that was major room decor for a good long time. And it was all colored pencil, and I just used marker to make shapes pop. And it was, surprise, surprise, a jungle one. It was rainforest. Because I've always been into animals. That's not something new. And I loved it. So, the hobby has come a long way since then. And I go through phases with it, along with every other hobby. I have too many hobbies. What can I say? But I enjoy them, so, you know. That's the important thing, right? There's not too many hobbies I don't enjoy. I love my cross stitch. I've been doing that crochet I've probably been doing the longest. But cross stitch is probably my favorite. And it's probably the one I'm most consistent in continuing. But I found as I get older, I have more arthritis issues, and I have found that no one hobby can I do continuously. I need to switch up the hand motions, which means I cross stitch for a while, and then I knit for a while, and then maybe I crochet for a while, and then maybe I color for a while. So I get a lot more crafts done in a day, but it takes way longer to do a project because I can't do one thing for hours at a time like I used to. So I am liking those quite a bit. All right, I'm pretty happy with that one, but I'm going to go over this one a little bit. And then we're going to call this good because the camera battery is about to die. And I think the dogs are starting to get restless. And I don't want to have to pause the video 30 times to let them out. So let's see if I can just get this finished up. And then we'll see where we get next time. I'm definitely liking how these came out. This one's mostly okay. I'm just gonna touch up a little bit. Okay, maybe I'm gonna do all the way around. All right. Wish I could have got the flowers done, but that's pretty good progress. So I'm going to stop here and I will see you next time. Have a great night. Bye now.